welcome to Born for the Trades. I'm your host, Mandeep Bala. And today we don't have our co-host, my co-host, like she has got some emergency, but I'm gonna be running this episode. And today we have special guest with us. His name is Lance Bachmann, and he is former SEO, he's former CEO of one SEO digital marketing agency and founder of LB Capital. Is a serial entrepreneur known for driving exponential growth and success. As a sought after keynote speaker, he's here to share his insights on entrepreneurship and his experience with acquiring, scaling, and selling home service businesses. His new venture, LB Capital, empowers businesses in the home service sector through strategic financial solutions and investments in technology driven companies. They build long term partnerships based on trust, unlocking the full potential of their partners in home service industry, and has already acquired 5 companies in 3 months. Welcome, Lance, on our show. How are you
Thank
doing?
you so much for having you. I'm a big fan. I love watching your show. I love watching what you're doing in the digital marketing space, traveling to all your clients, building relationships. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to see what you do. I love how you're handling it in a different way than most agencies. It's actually pretty cool to see.
Join us as we dive deep into the world of home service entrepreneurship, interacting with industry leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs about their experiences, challenges, and victories. Through their inspiring stories, we hope to equip our listeners with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed in the competitive home service industry. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, tune in to Born for the Trades podcast for invaluable insight and real-world inspiration.
I just want to know, you are a serial entrepreneur. Is it in your DNA? Have you inherited like from your parents?
No, my father was an alcoholic. My mother worked for the state. Finally, she had a job working for the state. No, I mean, I don't even know if I'm a serial entrepreneur. I think, people say that to me all the time. You own these businesses, you sell them to private equity, you grow these companies. I'm having fun. I enjoy it. It's my way of competing. Someone said to me yesterday, Lance, I'm just not you. This isn't for me. And he said, you're going to die in that chair. That's what he said to me. You're going to die in that chair. And I said, I'm okay if I die in that chair. I'm happy. I'm happy to be with my kids. I don't think there's anything better than meeting people that don't know how to scale their companies, that are good people, that want to grow. You partner with them, and inside of 2 to 3 years, you're exiting to a private equity firm, and they're multimillionaires for the rest of their lives. I mean,
Right.
where else can you do it? This is only in America, the greatest country in the world. And I'm having the time of my life, if you want to be honest with you. I mean, it's just the time of my life. So people can say I'm a serial entrepreneur. I think I'm just an everyday guy that just wants to work and have fun. And I'm not the guy that's going to sit on the beach every day, or just because
Love
you
that.
can don't mean you want to, right? Because you can don't mean you want to.
Exactly. Love that. And when you said this is one of the best countries in the world, I got goosebumps. Like, I would say I born in India, made in the U.S., and this country is amazing, and a lot of opportunities, we get. And I want to start with, tell us about your new business venture, LB Capital, and what do you hope to accomplish with that?
It kind of just unfolded. As you know, I exited one SEO. I sold to a great group. Can't
Yeah.
say anything bad about them. Incredible CEO there still, CJ. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't get a better. I mean, the whole thing about when you sell to private equity is you got to have a good leadership team. And fortunately for me, I feel like we have the best CEO in the country in CJ. She's a great leader. She
Hmm.
has that entrepreneurial mindset, systems, processes. She understands it. So, and she has a great team around her. Private equity group we sold to was great. So that was only about 90, maybe 100 days ago, right? So it's not even that long.
Yeah, it's been, I think, just 3 months, right? That's
Yeah, it was the third exit I had over the last 2 years now, right?
wow.
And so my mindset kind of changed, right? I didn't take it every time I've exited, I worked that day. I worked the very next day. I never went on vacation, never celebrated. So my wife said, listen, you started one SEO from ground up. This was always your baby. She's like, why don't we just go away for a week? So we went to my buddy Dave Luber, hooked us up, and he got us rooms at this place in the Bahamas. It was super nice. I forget the name of it, but whatever. It was a beautiful place called Dave Luber. It was actually incredible. I'd tell anyone to go there. Gave us rooms. And by day 3, my wife's like, is everything okay? Is everything okay? I'm like, yeah. By day 4, she knew something was just wrong with me.
Okay.
And we were talking about like what's next, what's next, right? Because I still owned other companies, and painting pups, and at that time Cherry was being sold, and you know, I still own Shock IT, which has about 100 employees there. And my wife's like,
Wow.
"What's wrong?" I was like, "I just can't do this." She's like, "I know," and she's like, "You want to go home, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I
Mm.
love you. You're my best friend. I had a great time here." I was like, "I want to go back." um, and build a company. It's just all we do is partner with companies
Mm-hmm.
and scale them and grow them. And I'm going to make a lot of people multimillionaires. I said, they're going to win. I'm going to win. I said, but this is not something I can do. She's like, I know you can't. She's like, she's like, as long as you're with your kids and you work, you're happy. I said, so I went and literally she booked 2 flights home. We
Mm-hmm.
came home the very next day. And I called Joe Lynn up, who was my chief operating officer. And I said, listen, I don't know what we're going to call it, but this is what I'm going to do. And
Right.
she came up and she said, she said, Lance, know what, you earned it. We're going to call it LB Capital. I was like, I don't know, like, you have my name in it. She's like, you earned it. She's like,
You
you
on.
came from nothing, you came from the mud.
Right.
She's like, you earned it. She's like, we're going to call it LB Capital. And you know what? She went, she got the name, we created it. And, we went and just started acquiring companies, top line over 100 million this year.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
we're going to hit 150 next year is our goal, probably a little bit more than that. We went and recruited a great CFO, TJ, from Vanguard. We recruited another accountant person, recruited operation people. So we're constantly recruiting good people to build it. We're looking for the right operators. We got good operators that just didn't really know how to scale and get ready to sell to private equity, right? They want certain check marks. And when you hit those check marks, they'll acquire you. Without that, when you get
Right.
on the, they're going to walk away. And people don't really know what their businesses are worth. They think their businesses are worth. My buddy called me. I'm opening a roofing company in California,
Right.
and I'm buying one right now. And he's like, dude, these people are crazy, Lance. He's like, they think their company's worth all this money. I'm like, they don't know what they don't know. They go to try and I see it all the time. People come to me like, Lance, will you buy my company? I'm like, no, 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 no. I
Mm.
probably acquire and partner with 1 out of every 150, 200 people that pitch me.
Wow.
So people
Wow.
are constantly pitching me, social media, pitching me, coming through my door. People are flying in. And it's just like, no, 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 no.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thanks. No, thanks for sharing. It's a lot to learn from you since you have done so many ventures, like, in the home service space. You have bought the companies, you have sold them. And can you share some key insights or strategies that you have consistently driven exponential growth and success for your business you have worked with?
I think it's really simple, right? It's advertising. You have to advertise. I'm blown away to see people only advertise 2, 3, 4% of their budget. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
3 to 4. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, every one of my companies spend over 10%, at least. Some are 15, some are 18, but everyone's at least 10%, 12%. Actually, I don't think anyone's under 12%. So at least 10, 12%. We put systems and processes. Everyone's on Service Titan. My painting company's on Service Titan. People think I'm
Oh.
crazy. I'm the only painter in the country on Service Titan.
Oh,
And I have it
wow.
integrated with Paint Scout, right? So Service Titan. My roof, we're the first roofing company with PJ Fitzpatrick, which everyone knows who Geiger is. He's an animal, he's a beast. I mean, you can't get better than Dave Geiger, right? He's just a great human being.
Right.
So it's really not hard. You follow what successful people do and you just
Exactly.
duplicate, right? So we're all in on Service Titan. We use Service Titan soup to nuts. We're on Service Titan Pro now. We're constantly making Service Titan better.
Hmm.
I actually bought a Titan consulting company called Titan Pros
Oh,
out in
nice.
Oregon because, and I love R over at Service Titan. They're great guys. I think they're the best technology out there for the trades. It's just, it's hard to get some things done sometimes, right? So,
Right.
and let's be honest, when and I'm going to stick up for Service Titan, right? When you're teaching non-technology people to use technology, there's friction, right? There's friction.
Right.
Business owners want to have it. See, I'm a technology guy by trade, right? I love technology, even though I suck at technology, I tell you, but I love technology.
You love. Hmm.
So I love it. So Service Titan's a must for any one of my companies. If an operator says we won't use Service Titan, they're automatically out. That's automatically done.
Do you
we're the
recommend, sorry, do you recommend the like Service Titan to the companies like, any mid-sized company or for the start,
any size,
any
any
size?
size,
Okay.
any size. Just get on Service Titan. Listen, it's an investment. It's an investment. People say you can't afford it. I say you can't afford not to be on it if
Mm-hmm.
you're going to use it for what it does. And we
Exactly.
still have not, put all that, but that really gives you your CRM, right? For your
Right.
customers, gives you your systems and processes because they pretty much do 90% of it for you,
Right.
right? As long as you
Right.
use it.
Exactly.
but people just don't use it. So I'm a big system and process person. I'm a big leadership person, very big leadership person. It's hard to find leaders. People think leaders are born. I think leaders are made. I think,
Leadership.
I talk to my sons constantly about being leaders. We talk about being great athletes. We talk about being super great leaders. And there's a big difference. You have to be a super great leader and understand that. So, I always say this to people, the greatest of anyone will always work for the greatest leaders.
Love that. That's amazing share. Thanks for sharing that. That's amazing. Agree.
So communication, I'm a big communication. I over communicate. We have a mojo call every day at 7:45, company wide for all my companies, family companies, we call them. They get on there, every employee. We talk about wins, we talk about good stuff, nothing ever negative at that 7:45 meeting, because and I don't run that call. Jolene, Matt does, Mike Gullidge runs it. And it's all about the positive mindset, what you're doing, all those kind of things, So like, that's really what we're doing. And then at 9 o'clock, we have group huddles for what's going on. And it's just everything's, it works. It works well.
It works well. No, thanks for sharing that. And Lance, like, how do you approach identifying high growth opportunities and nurturing them into successful ventures? Can you provide an example from your experience?
You need operators that know how to sell and understand sales or everything. It doesn't matter how good of a CFO you are, how good of a bean counter you are. It doesn't matter how good of a tradesman you are. If you can't sell and give the customer an experience, you're out,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, your whole world is around sales, right? I'll give you an example. The guy came over here today. He's doing my guest house. He's doing the floors. I just moved into this farmhouse I can't stand, but hey, we're here now, right? My wife loves it, but we're here.
It's
So
beautiful. It's by the way, it's beautiful. And in the back, like I love that bar. And you showed me. It's amazing.
So, but I wanted to add steps to it. He's like, oh, this is a really tough job. And he started to sell me. I said, listen, you got me. How much is it? And he gave me the price. I said, just do it. Because he understood the experience. He had me. He was already doing the top floor. I needed the steps done. He literally charged me almost the same amount of price for 10 steps as he's doing my whole entire second floor. But who am I to argue? He's here.
He's
And
here.
that's the thing. He knew that sell. And I'm not mad at him because I wanted it. It's called a change order, in my opinion. You always pay higher for a change order, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But if you can't sell, so back to your point, if I have an operator that I believe that can't sell, that has the personality of a tomato can, they're gone, right? I mean, I want high energy. I want good morals. I like second chance people. I'm very big into people in recovery, ex-drug addicts, ex-alcoholics, people that got in trouble when they were younger, people that
Mm,
grew up poor. I think those people, when you let them into a room, they can take over a room very, very fast
very
compared
fast.
to someone that is born on second or third base. So I'm not looking for Slick Rick or the best P&L out there. I'm looking for the best human being that I believe can follow the vision, follow the journey, and make high impact fast.
That's amazing. Yeah, put in the work every single day, and I think we both have like similar like background when it comes to like my dad. It was the same situation. But yeah, I think I feel that like what you have done is like commendable, coming out of like negativity, and I think you always stood like positive throughout your career, and that's how you have like impact on others. So let's talk about PE, right? You have a lot of experience with the PE. So have you experienced any horror stories in dealing with PE, private equities?
I'm fortunate. So I know the horror stories. I have friends that went through horror stories. This is what the PE firms don't want out there. And this is what people have to understand. They don't want somebody on social media saying they got ripped off. They don't want someone saying it's a terrible company. They don't want, so I've had great PE experience. The one when I sold one SEO was a little bit more due diligence than I thought I had to be. But it was also a search fund. So it wasn't a true fund, right? So there's a difference between search fund and a fund, right? So when you're doing a search fund, they're getting a
Hmm.
bunch of different investors into one fund, into one deal. It's a little
Right.
different, which is fine. But the PE person is a good man, right? He's a good guy, the manager, nice guy. So, I mean, when I sold my companies, I sold to big ones, to obviously Alpine, Vertex, and Apex. So, I mean, they're some of the bigger ones in the trade. And they're just great people too. And they don't want to have people saying they didn't get their earnouts because that's going to cost them. Listen, I want you to think about this. If we're talking, right, you have a lot of influence on here. And I say, listen, someone didn't pay their earnout.
Yeah.
Every one of your listeners ain't going to that person.
Right.
Like so private equity does not want that to happen. Like that will kill more deals for them and make more friction for their salespeople. So they pay the majority of them. It's these smaller guys that don't get it and are just getting into it that don't pay. So just make sure you know who you're getting in bed with. If someone ever had a question, I mean, about it, they could call and ask me. I've only had great experiences. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky.
Right.
Not saying that I won't go through a bad experience, but I don't really give anyone a reason to put me in a bad experience either. Like I deliver on what I say.
Right.
I still, even in transition to one SEO, if they ever need anything there, I'm still going to jump in, help out. Dylan and
Right.
Cherry. I'm still operating Cherry, makes sense. Every
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's so I'm the operator, right? So I think when you're a person of your word and you're a man of character, um, I think things are going to be fine. You just have to know who you're selling to, Mandeep. I mean, some of these private equity firms are pretty shisty, but a lot of them are great people and good people too. And just listen, once again,
Mm-hmm.
go where the successful people go and use the same exact people. And you're probably
Right.
gonna have a great relationship.
Exactly. No, I think that's the way to do it. You're gonna be in touch with, like, and I think at the right time. I think people are confused, don't know, like, I get a lot of questions about, like, okay, when to sell. Like, sometimes they are so tied up with their, like, brand. That's like their legacy. They don't want to sell it. And sometimes, okay, they want to sell it, but they're confused. So I don't know. At one point, like, what do you think? At what point they should sell? Plan on selling their company.
I think everyone has a different. I think it comes down to listen. I love one SEO. I built one SEO with my sister, Jackie Eldridge, Dave DiPaolo, out of a literally apartment. I want you to think about that. 15 years ago, out of an apartment, 100+ employees, one of the largest agencies in the country. And I was known for it. Everyone was like, "You're the one SEO guy." You even said like, "Yeah, you're the one." I was not. That's what I'm still known for that. Like, people walk in, "You're the one SEO guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I guess. Yeah, I love it, right?"
Right.
But you come to the realization, I'm not the one SEO guy. I'm Lance Bachmann. The people that are there are the one SEO people. The people that are actually earning those 5-star reviews are the one SEO people. Same in your organization. You're just one person. You're just a
Right.
person. I was a person with the vision, the guts, the nuts to go out and do it, right?
Right.
And then I got rewarded for it,
Right.
at the end.
No.
So people make it personal about them. I think I did too, though. I let my ego, and then I had kids, and I started hanging out with other successful people, and you'll be surprised. They're confident, but they don't have egos. Like you said, yeah, Lance,
Ego.
you're good friends with Tommy Mello. Tommy Mello is very confident, doesn't have ego. People are like, oh, my buddy Joe Bograt has ego. No, they don't. These people are just confident. They're just confident. I don't have an ego. I'm just confident. There's a difference, right?
Right.
So I think when you start hanging out with more successful people, you start saying, you know what? It's time to sell. And now, I have no problem saying to everyone, all my companies will exist. And as you said, I do have a lot of experience in PE. So I believe sell when you get the number that you get to take some chips off this table,
Right.
some of the chips off the table, and you have some relief. Like, I never got to work again. My kids never have to work again. There's a lot of non-pressure with that. Now it's just fun. I'm competing. And I
Mm-hmm.
will say this, the most dangerous warrior on the battlefield is the warrior that doesn't have to be there. He wants to be there. I don't ever want to come across that person.
Love
Like,
that.
you look at Conor McGregor, right? What his net worth is. He sold his company for $600 million, right? I watched
Six.
this documentary. I said, well, how crazy is this guy that he still wants to fight?
Right.
Like, you don't ever want to meet that guy in the corner.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Like,
and I'm glad that you mentioned about that. You gotta hang out with these people, right? Tommy Mello, love Tommy Mello, his mindset, and just, like, abundance mindset. So we were chatting about this, right? Abundance mindset. Like, there is a lot, like, in the market, and I don't feel like there is, like, competition, like abundance out there. We were talking about that. You want to share about abundance in the
yeah, I mean,
world?
I don't I just broke it down to you. You own a digital agency, right? And you guys do a
Right.
very nice job, right? And I'm
Thank you.
friends with you. And I
Thank
think
you.
the world of you. I think the world of a lot of other digital marketing companies. I was the best man in Dave DiPaolo's wedding. Not the best man, but I was in his, what's that called? The party, the groom's party, whatever.
Right.
And he used to work for me and owned his own agency 20 miles from me. And I was in his wedding after it, right? Like there's so much business out there. One SEO has 0.000000001, like not even, there's so much, and we're one of the largest in the country. There's so much business out there. There's the greatest country in the world. There is not a second country. Everyone's going to start trolling and scrolling. I really don't give a shit. This is the great, in one lifetime, you can change the stars of your children, of your whole family heritage. You could be the one. This is that country. There's so much business out there. No one's your competition. Go out there and take it. And I just believe that. I don't believe you're my competition. I don't believe, I'm building a company right now in California. I don't believe any of these people here, one of my partners said, I can't believe you just bought USA Roof Masters. They're in our local area. And I started laughing. I said, just in Bucks County alone, there's 800,000 residents. We can't do every roof here. In Montgomery County, there's another 800,000. That's 1.6 million. Now we're going over to Lawrenceville, New Jersey, that area, and 2.4 million. Just take 1% of that, right?
Yeah, just 1%.
Yourself an incredible business, 2%. And like, that's what people don't think. Like you really have no competition. I want to help you, right? Like I tell people, I just brought a kid in from Africa and he spent a whole day at One SEO in a digital agency. And they showed him everything, systems, processes, what we do, what we use, how we do things. People come into my companies all the time and look at what we're doing. And I go to places like Dave Geiger at Horizon. Think about that. He lets me into his place, hands me his information so I can better my companies, and my HVAC companies in his backyard.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
Like there's such an abundance. These people are good people. They understand it. And when you hang out with real successful people, your mindset changes and the whole world just gets that much easier for you. There's such an abundance of business for everyone.
I agree with you. It's all about, I think it's all about mindset. So no, yeah, I think thanks
You
for
don't
sharing.
have to lose for me to win. We both can win together.
Both can win together.
That's the whole thing. You both can win together.
It's hard to get that. It's deep, but I think people, I think if they change their perspective, mindset, and it's gonna be a different whole world and it's gonna be good for everyone. And let's dive into this. As a mentor to aspiring entrepreneurs, what advice do you have someone looking to scale their business with partner support?
Well, I think partners are great, right? So I'm going to tell you a story about me, right? I can relate it to me, right?
Sure.
And people think I did this on my own, right? A guy by the name of Sam Zeitlin believed in me probably 12 years ago after I started One SEO. Was already successful. And listen, he got a hell of a deal on One SEO for what he bought into and what he got paid back. He probably 50x'd his money, if not 60x'd his money. But Sam's friendship, and partnership where I could talk to him and communicate, and is more like a therapist during those years, and his wife also, really helped me become who I am today. And he was my partner for probably 10 years, right?
Wow.
And he's a multimillionaire and he's a great guy and he's a great friend. And, transparency, we don't hang out as much because things, and I sat him down and it came down to just change of vision, right? And people got to be honest with each other. I just had someone last week said to me, Lance, I can't come on this journey with you. I'm not you. I can't do this. I can't do this pace. He goes, you absorb information 100 times faster than other people and you want to keep going. He's like, everyone else, I just can't do it. And he was honest. He's one of my best friends still today. Sam was the same thing. We were in Vegas and we were just talking, and this is where partnerships, if you're a good person, partnerships don't have to end bad way. We were in Vegas and he said a few key things to me about what he wanted and what I wanted. And we were just at the pool. It was my wife's, I think, 40th birthday party celebration. And I love these guys. I love their children, right? And we flew home and I told my wife, Sam won't be my partner by the end of the month. And she said, why? I said, because our mindsets are just different. And I said, I want to go here. He wants to go here. And that's okay. And literally, I sat Sam down. It was taken off guard. And but this shows you his character and what a man he is. This is why you have to have good partners and good people. Because a shitty partner would have made my life hell. He just said, no problem. Let's break it up in less than 1 hour. We typed up the email of all of our stuff to the lawyers and said, He's going to take this. We didn't bring appraisals in. We didn't bring, evaluations. We just said, listen, we're going to be fair to each other. We love each other's kids, but we're just not going in the same way. And I still talk to him, not as much, but so I'm not here without him, without that partnership and that friendship. And things just change and evolve. I'll tell anyone if they had a chance to be a partner with Sam Zeitland, you're fucking crazy if you don't do it, because he's a great partner. Like
Right.
just because my vision changed and his vision went a different way doesn't mean either one did bad things. It was just our visions went different ways.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it doesn't have to be like, hard on that. If you guys agree on that, okay, parting ways, it has to be just like that. Like why to, go,
And
maybe
and we
different
both
way.
had the same thing. And I think this helps. We never let outside influence impact us. My wife knows not to talk to me about business. His wife does not talk to him about business. His wife's big personality, but she still does not try to impact him about business. And both our wives are just good people. So I think
Nice.
you can look at someone's wife and
Right.
say, if they're shitty, he's probably shitty. If your wife's probably a good person, you're probably going to be a good person. And so like, that's how I look at things, right? So like, I think partners are great. I have partners in all my businesses besides one SEO when I bought him out. I had partners in every one of my businesses. I love partners. I think they're great. I think you just have to be honest and transparent. I told you one of my partners came to me and said, I can't do this with you all this. I want to just focus on this one company. And that's okay.
Just be
There's
honest.
nothing wrong
Be
with that.
honest and transparent that, you can't be with the pace that you have, and it's okay. And I think honesty and transparency should be there. No, thanks for sharing that. And I know you have mentioned about like, wives, family, kids. Let's talk about this is major to all the listeners. This is definitely going to provide a lot of value. So achieving work-life balance is a common goal for many professionals like me and others. You have a wife and 4 children. So how have you personally navigated this challenge to accomplish your goals while prioritizing family happiness? Right?
So I think this is it. You are going to have to say, listen, so it's different for everyone, right? If you come from the mud and you come from nothing, you have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice sleeping.
Yeah.
You are. People are going to say, no, you don't. No, you don't. Bullshit. Yeah. Listen, this is the real world, people. No one gives you anything. So when you listen, everyone says this. Once you have money and you made it, you get invited to every. I'm invited to every room now. I'm invited to every room, any room. Yeah, Lance. But when I was just starting out, I couldn't even get someone to give me a complimentary ticket to a show. Makes sense? Like it's just, it's comical. So don't believe that. So my thing is this: you have to get up early when you're starting out, 4 or 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock. When you get up, get up.
Get up.
I see my kids every morning, but I did sacrifice my son LJ the first 5 years he was born. I missed a lot, and my wife would bring him to me. My wife would constantly bring him to me. I missed a lot of my son. And do I regret it? I do. But I knew I had to do that to set my children up for life. I had to sacrifice to get, now my family's set up. I don't miss anything. I was at wrestling last night. I pick and choose. I still miss things, but I always say this. If I'm going to miss my child's event, it's going to be for me to give abundance and have a high impact. So what does that mean? If I'm going and speaking, right? It's going to be somewhere where I can give high impact and help people out. And because I truly believe when I give, I get so much back in return. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
amazing how the universe works. I believe in God heavily. I'm not here to preach about God to anyone, but as you give, you receive so much more. So now I don't miss any of my children's things, but I want to tell every entrepreneur out there, when you're starting out and to their wives, you're going to have to miss stuff. You're going to have to miss, unfortunately, I get to coach my kids in wrestling, football, flag football. I don't have to miss anything at this point unless I choose to. But before I was constantly missing things, and I'm not saying it's right, but until you get some type of security for your family, you're
Exactly.
going to have to sacrifice, right? And then the work-life balance comes in. But if you think you have work-life balance starting out, I don't believe in that. I don't think you can ever truly, and it depends what level of success you want to get to, right? If you just want to have a $2-3 million business and you're making a few $100,000 a year, sure, you got work-life balance. But if you want to go build real companies
You're
and
right.
sell with private equity, I don't believe you can in the beginning. I just don't believe you can. There's too much to do. And the problem is this, is you have to do it because you're not going to have the resources to pay. LB Capital, I'm not being disrespectful here, is I funded it myself, and I'm losing money every month since it's been open
Wow.
to build the systems, the processes to bring people in. And I'm not flinching about it. I'm actually thanking God I have the money to do it because I don't have to sit there and miss out on anything. Because
Right.
I know it has to be implemented. I know it has to be done. So instead of losing the bank's money, why don't I just use my own money?
No, no, I think that's huge. And looking at like opportunity, helping others, that's definitely great. And I have sacrificed like working 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. like in the night time, that hustle and traveling, sacrificing family time. But I think looking at the vision, bigger picture, it's all gonna be worth it. That's what you did. And yeah, so you are definitely born for the trades, and you have done a lot for the trades, and now you're starting with this like venture. You're gonna be doing great. So Lance, like, what's the last thing or one piece of advice that you wanna give to our home service family, trades family?
Well,
Just
what
one piece of advice.
the piece of advice I would give is and I appreciate you saying I was born for the trades, but I never sold a roof. I've never done a roof. I've never sold HVAC, never did HVAC, never did painting.
Yeah,
It
I
seems like
know.
I've never done any of them. And I think the basic thing I said to you, if you want to be in the trades, don't be in the trades. Become a business person, right? Don't be in the trades. Don't be the one doing the work. Don't be the one, someone will say to me, well, what happens if it isn't done right? Well, we have a pledge. We're going to go make it right. Right? We're going to
You're
send
right.
someone out to make the customer happy. You don't think an iPhone, when you go buys it, some of them don't work. They have a pledge. They make it right. You know, not everything's done the first time, no matter who's out there. So
Right.
you want to have a high success rate, low callback rate. And I just think, look at things differently and say, you know what? I'm willing to take a step back today in my organization and make less to make a lot more tomorrow. And that's what I do with every one of my companies. I don't draw a salary from any of my companies.
Oh wow. But that's the way to do it, right? Just like taking a step back and just like look into everything, rather going hustling, going hard every single day. That's the way to do it. But thanks for sharing. It was great to have you on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for the listeners and those who are watching to this episode. And we're gonna be bringing another episode with our like special guest. And thank you, and you guys have a great day. See you on the next one.